just lose our guest. We're going to try to get him back on and go to Sean Justice, again, known as Popeye, on their YouTube channel and FederalJack.com. We post a lot of their videos on Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. They work with We Are Change. They've confronted Al Gore. The list just goes on. And we do have him now. Okay, great. We're going to go ahead and bring him up on air now. Then we'll go back to your calls. Sean Justice, again, early this morning when he was asleep, gets the FBI visit. They weren't forthcoming with their names. I talked to him this morning. I said, you got to call the FBI that's 3 miles away there in Miami. He called them. They wouldn't give him the names. He's filed a complaint saying, I need to know, were these FBI agents that came? But it's the standard procedure. They come and they say, do you know any terrorists? Is there any terrorists in your group? What about this guy? What about that guy? Don't tell anybody about this meeting. We just want to, because sometimes they can go talk to somebody, they get intimidated, and then they'll be like a minion of the FBI and then basically go in and start reporting on people. But FederalJack is completely nonviolent media outlet that goes out and asks politicians real questions. And so breaking this down, Sean is still trying to learn their names because in the flustered moment, in the 10 minutes or so they were there, he didn't ask it. And I asked him what he said. It was a standard deal. Well, of course I don't know any terrorists. We wouldn't hurt a fly. We're just regular folks. My response would be, you're here to intimidate me, and you know full well we're a nonviolent organization. You know full well we're getting millions of YouTube views, and we're out asking politicians real questions, and you don't like that. And I want your card. I want your information right now, because this is, there have been congressional hearings on this decades ago about what you're doing right now. Who sent you here? Why were you sent here? The interrogation would have flipped around, but I'm not blaming people. This has got to happen to you once or twice before you know how to respond to it. He did a great job trying to go down there. He did a great job trying to talk to them later and find out who they are. Sean Justice, known as Popeye. And Bob Chapman's riding shotgun with us. He's been through all this before, so he can comment from his expertise. Break down, you're in Miami, what they said, what they did. You've got the floor. Describe what happened.
Well, first off, I'd like to thank you, Alex, for having me on the show. And pretty much I was asleep this morning because if anybody that knows me, it's not a secret. My wife is disabled, so I have a different sleep schedule, and I was up late taking care of her. And they kind of caught me off guard this morning. And they, at first, like, they said, when I opened the door, they were like, do you mind if we come in? And he started to step in the door, and I put my hand up, and I said, yeah, I do mind. We'll do this outside. And then, I had the presence of mind to at least not let him in my house, in my apartment. So we went outside, and then I asked him, why are you here? What's the, can I help you? What's the reason for your visit? And they said, well, we'd like to ask you a few questions. I said, well, okay, go ahead. Ask me and, if I'm going to answer, I'll answer, and I'll do as best as I can to answer the truth for you. What do you want to know? Because I have nothing to hide. I'm not affiliated with any radical group, so we're nonviolent, so I don't have anything to hide or anything to worry about. I was just a little caught off guard because I just woke up. I did, after I replayed the conversation in my head, after talking to you on the phone earlier, I did ask them for a card. And I asked them if I could have a card to contact them, because they said, well, if you know of any terrorist organizations or has any radical organization contacted you, and I kind of laughed at it, and I was like, no, like I wasn't mean or rude to them, but I kind of acted like almost a little insulted towards it, and I was like, we don't know any terrorist organizations, and he goes, well, I know you've been active in your local city council meetings because we go and we educate them about fluoride, and I constantly go every time and educate them about
Yeah, so the message is, we're here, you might be a terrorist because you don't like poison being put in your water. So the idea is people that go to city council meetings, they could be terrorists, which is basically what the Homeland Security documents say. If you make frequent references to the U.S. Constitution, they need to surveil you. So we have their training manuals going back at least 15 years. That's what's going on. And I just told the guys to try to pull up a YouTube video from Austin. I think the search term was Austin woman, FBI visits mother or woman for attending anti-war rally. And the FBI comes to her door, man and woman. They want to come in. She says no. It's all on YouTube. She videotaped it. And they say, well, we just want to know why you're protesting the war. I mean, it was very bizarre. But I mean, this is what they do now in America. But I just remembered that video. This is ongoing. And so you did a great job, because I know they caught you off guard. Please continue. So they say, well, we know you go to city council meetings, which is a big no-no in America. That's un-American. Please continue with what happened next.
They even made the comment to me of saying that, we know you've gone to city council meetings, you sign in when you go. And we don't sign in. The only thing you fill out is a form so that you can speak. So they say your name and everything.
Speak up a little bit for me, Popeye.
Sorry about that. When you go to the council meetings, you have to fill out the form.
Yeah, and they're using that now to send the FBI to your house. That's FBI now going over city council sign-ins. Boy, that's useful info. Go ahead.
And that's the only way that they could have gotten my info either, because there's no... Through FederalJack, I've always tried to kind of remain a little bit somewhat anonymous just to protect my wife. Not for me, but to protect my wife, because she can't protect herself. And I know that they pray and go after the weak, and they go after the weak people and the family members. And that's why I called back to the FBI and I complained to them. And I said, look, how do I know that these aren't fake FBI agents? Because the lady I spoke to on the phone said, well, they should have given you a card. And I said, well, I did ask for one, and they told me just to call the hotline number if I had any tips. I said, how do I know these guys are FBI? How do I know they're not going to break into my house and hurt my wife? I said, so I'm going to, I filed the complaint, and of course they haven't called me back. I don't expect the call back, to be honest with you. I honestly, looking back at this, I think this is more of a, look, you're opening your mouth. We don't like what you're doing. Shut up. And I won't tolerate that. The more you threaten me, anybody that knows me, the more you threaten me, the harder I fight. So we're just a police state now. The country I remember growing up in, and the country I took an oath to defend, is dead. It died a long time ago, and it's got a huge sword in its heart. It says New World Order, Rothschild. It's horrible. And the people are so dumbed down through mind control, and they use so many different forms of it now. People are they don't care. You have Bob come on Fridays and tell people, look, this is the future of the economy. Pay attention. And yet you still have morons that are more worried about Lady Gaga or MTV than their future. Oh, Barack Obama will take care of it. The fact that there's still Obama zombies out there just blows my mind.
Well, you're absolutely right. Bob Chapman, what's your take on what's happened to this individual who's one of the founding members, Sean Justice, known as Popeye?
Well, I think it's par for the course, and the information that they've gleaned from your records is to be able to make them be a familiar figure to you, somebody that you can trust, which is them, and so they can get more information out of you. And that's why they do that. But they've had, they've gone over your dossier, which I'm sure the government has. And that's why they're doing, asking those kinds of questions about your military service and so on. They know the answers, but they have to bring it up to you so you'll trust them.
Well, also, they have federal laws that are unconstitutional, but they still do it. They'll say lying to the FBI, they could charge you and put you in prison if you had been in the Coast Guard and then lied to them about it. So that's another thing that they do. It's just incredible. But hey, don't worry, FBI agents. The banks have stolen all the money. The government's poisoning your children's water supply. And you think you're part of the winning team. So good job. Good job.
Yeah, I did tell them about that. I gave them a lecture about fluoride, actually, when they brought it to the city council meeting.
Was it real funny to them? Was it real funny?
He was smirking throughout. Like, he didn't laugh, but he had that little smirk that, that government agent smirk that they get.
It's like, hey, I'm a government agent. Radiation doesn't hurt me. DU doesn't hurt me. Fluoride in my kid's water doesn't hurt me. He's God. You're not. You're a little piece of trash.
That's basically...
You're just a disabled veteran piece of trash to him. Remember, the government hates veterans more than anybody in their own internal documents. Correct, Bob?
He took note of that. Not to interrupt you, Alex, but he did take note of that, too, because I have 2 stickers in my window that says Afghanistan veteran and Iraq veteran, because I served during both conflicts, and that kind of piqued his interest.
Well, yeah, because you're an evil terrorist. I mean, in their internal documents, they say veterans are the #1 threat. They hate you. See, what the FBI, the TSA, and all the rest of them can't get is when a government goes corrupt, they now are agents of that corrupt system. So no matter what the corrupt system tells them to do, they keep following it because they're the good guys. Now, we couldn't find the original video. It was online, but it was taken down, unedited. I have one somebody else grabbed and put images into, but I'm going to play 30 seconds or so. This FBI agent's there saying, well, we know you went to this anti-war rally, and we just want to ask if you know about any plans for violence. And this, this is a mother, whole 9 yards, a professional. I remember her bio. And she just says, well, I'm going to take the fifth on that. I wouldn't even have done that because I mean self-incrimination. I says, no, your business, pal, First Amendment. I mean, what do you know about Anwar al-Awlaki secretly hanging out at the Pentagon? What do you know about the FBI running all this stuff? I mean, just leave. You're not dealing with somebody here that doesn't know your bosses are the terrorist. I mean, let's just get down to brass tacks here. The game's over. Let's play part of this clip. Here's the video audio, the FBI here in Austin.
Nothing.
You'll just leave?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but I'm still curious. Go ahead and ask away.
Well, I've asked the question. Do you know of any plans to destroy any property?
I'm going to plead silence on that. Next question.
Okay. That's it. I mean, we just want to make sure everybody stays safe.
Stay safe. Okay, great. Great.
Do you know of any concerns that you would have concerning us being here?
Yes, I'm very concerned that I get a knock on my door from the FBI. Very concerned about it, and I think a lot of people will want to hear about this.
Do you have any questions for us?
Well, who's your next person that you're going to stop to here in Austin or in Texas?
I can't tell you that.
You can't tell me that.
If you want our card, this is...
All right, that's enough. It goes on and on. The point here is that it's been confirmed that Obama has ordered the Border Patrol not to arrest illegals, only to do a few for a small public quota. Total war, crime, mass murder going on, mass graves every few days being found. Nobody cares. You wonder why people don't have more anti-war protests. Folks, my guys had the police in Pittsburgh come because they tried to go talk to the military. And we put it all out in Police State 4 Rise of FEMA. Politely, hey, can we talk to your press person? We were given this number. We want to talk about the military being involved in this. And they said, no, just get out of here. Then the police called my office, called the guys at the hotel, knew where they were, and said, yeah, we're investigating you for a plan to blow us up. And that you guys were running around, sneaking around. It was all lies. I mean, it's like the message is you're bad because you speak out. In closing, talking to Sean Justice, who got this FBI visit, more people need to start their own We Are Change, FederalJack, Info Warriors, Tyranny Response Team. More people need to get involved, start blogs, encounter George Soros and the feds. They are scared. You guys have confronted, Sean, a lot of globalists with serious questions. Name some of the folks that you guys have gone and been real journalists and asked questions of.
We got Fareed Zakaria when he was down here at FIU giving a speech about globalism. We tag teamed him with We Are Change Tampa, and we did the same thing at an Al Gore event. And the two of them, when just like the rest of these globalists, when you confront them, like Fareed Zakaria, for example, we did it in a wave. We had one person stand up videotaping and a couple others hidden videotaping. And then while he confronted and got thrown out, the next person would stand up so that the topic would not be able to go away.
Yeah, they know you're not violent. They've assessed you. They're scared of you confronting globalist kingpins. Bob Chapman, we're on the march. The globalist empire is on the run.
And you're absolutely right. And what a great program.
Well, we got to stand together and hang separate. I know there are good people in the FBI. Choose which side you're on now. Don't rationalize and play games anymore. People confronting Al Gore over lies about climate change. You don't deserve an FBI visit for that. America is being taken over by the globalists. You know what, Sean Justice, known as Popeye, FederalJack.com, I want to commend you for what you're doing. Let's see more people get involved in FederalJack across the country. Just as Luke got intimidated and attacked, 4 or 5 years ago, and I supported him, look where he's at. Our listeners, the answer is more people standing up, and we'll be in contact with you, Popeye, and you too, Bob Chapman.
Thanks a lot, Alex. Thanks for having me on the show.
Thank you. Lou Dobbs is coming up in 1 minute. Infowars.com. It was powerful. Visit Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the site, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want.